Let me say something that changed my understanding of attraction. The most attractive person in the room is usually not the loudest one, not the richest, not the flashiest, not even the best looking. It's usually the person who is fully present. Welcome back. I'm Law, author of Enunciate Your Needs and creator of the memoir companion Practices to Presence. And this evening, we're talking about something I think people are starving for right now: presence. Because we live in a world full of attention, but very little presence. Everybody's either scrolling, reacting, consuming, performing, distracted. But very few people are actually grounded, listening, observing, connecting in the moment. Let's break the fourth wall together. And honestly, some of y'all haven't had a full, uninterrupted conversation in years. Think about it. Somebody's always either checking for notifications, mentally somewhere else, or filming the moment instead of actually living it. And I've realized something. Presence is felt. Let that land. You can feel when somebody is genuinely listening to you, can you not? You can feel when somebody is emotionally available, when they're calm, when they're intentional, when they are grounded within themselves. You can also feel when somebody wants attention, like starving for it. When somebody wants validation, when somebody is performing, that energy feels different. Some people don't enter rooms. They arrive like Wi-Fi signals, buffering, weak connections, in and out, not really there. And I think many people confuse attention with presence. Attention says, look at me. Presence says, I'm here. Estoy aquí. That's different. One thing I had to learn personally was how often I was physically present somewhere, but mentally absent, thinking about the future that's not even here, which brings about anxiety, stress, thinking about performance, thinking about outcomes, thinking about survival, and missing the actual moment. And that's why I created Practices for Presence. Because presence isn't accidental, it's practiced. Most people think presence is personality, charisma, spirituality even. No. Presence is intentional awareness. You know, I love me some frameworks, and they help. In this episode, we're going to discuss 3 enemies of presence. The first, distraction. Modern life profits from your distraction. Your attention is constantly being pulled. Notifications, algorithms, anxiety, overstimulation. And distracted people struggle to connect deeply. Some people can't even watch a 30-second reel without opening another app halfway through. I've been there, not pointing fingers. Our second enemy of presence is performance. A lot of people are not experiencing life. They're performing life. They're performing success, healing, even performing relationships. My mom used to make her little comments, and she would say when I was younger, thinking that I was in love, she would say, you're playing house. She might have had something there. People today are performing confidence. They're even performing happiness. But internally, they're disconnected. Now, there's a difference between being seen and being present. Social media amplifies visibility, does it not? But that doesn't necessarily mean connection. Our third enemy is that internal noise. Presence becomes difficult when your mind is crowded, and that crowding can come from fear, regret, insecurity, overthinking, or emotional chaos. You cannot fully experience a moment while mentally fighting yourself. It doesn't work. And to my fellas, a lot of us were taught survival, not presence. We learned that hustle culture, or that hustle mindset. We learned performance, productivity, suppression. But nobody taught us stillness, emotional awareness, intentional listening, and how to actually ground ourselves. That is why some men hear women emotionally, like buffering podcast. Here she is pouring her heart out to us, and yet we're thinking, what am I supposed to say here? Is this a trap? She's trying to set me up? You know what? I should have just stayed quiet. I shouldn't have said anything. We can't tell the difference. And presence changes relationships, because in a relationship, people remember how safe they felt around you or with you. They remember how heard they felt, how seen they felt. Not just what you bought, not just what you posted, not even what you look like. This is also connected to erotic intelligence, because presence affects attraction, presence affects intimacy, presence affects communication and emotional connection. A distracted person struggles to create deep intimacy because they're not there. I have a question for the audience, and I really want you to think about this question, not just now, but later. When was the last time you were fully present with yourself? Let that land. No distractions, no performing, no escaping, just you with you. I think a lot of the people fear presence because presence forces honesty. When you slow down, emotions surface, truths surface, unmet needs surface, and many people stay distracted to avoid themselves. For those who fast, that's one of the powers of fasting. Because when you fast, your body, your mind, your internal organs are not distracted by what you put inside of it. So you're actually forced to feel yourself, to either feel how strong you are, feel how weak you are, feel where you might feel achy, feel you, be with you. But when we're eating, we're distracted from ourselves. So for those who may overindulge, or for those like in this culture in America, full with consuming, you can kind of see how everything fits together. You kind of see how consuming is a part of distraction. Now, some folks stay busy because silence start talking. You ever hear that saying that silence is too loud? You ever be in a room and it's just silent and then someone just starts talking and over talking? It's because that silence was getting to them. It's too much. Now, returning to my ebook, here are a few things that I've personally practiced. Slowing conversations down. It forces you to actually listen. Observing before reacting. Not responding emotionally to everything immediately. Disconnecting from constant stimulation. At least once a month, and I try to do this at least once a week, I go a whole day with no electronics. I'll contact my loved ones the day before, or maybe that morning, and I'll let them know I'm going into this space. Unless Rome is burning, don't contact me, because I need to be away from that distraction. I need to disconnect. Another practice for presence is paying attention to my body, like paying attention to my breathing. If you read any of my books, I have a method of 4-4-6. 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 6 second exhale. It brings you back to self. In paying attention to my body, I also pay attention to where I'm tensed. Do I have tension in my shoulders, in my chest, my head, my eyes? Have I been looking at my computer screen too long? Do my eyes need to break? Then I also try to pay attention to my energy. And this helps when I fast, because then I get to realize how much have I been depending on coffee, food, and other stimulants to give me energy. Another practice for presence is being intentional with eye contact. People feel that. If you're having a conversation with someone and you're just looking everywhere else but them, it really doesn't give them the feeling that you're present and that you care about what's being discussed. The older I get, the more I realize calm energy is powerful. That's the flex. Not performative confidence, groundedness, being present. Presence is attractive because presence makes people feel real around you. And in a world full of distraction, that is rare. So no, presence is not just spiritual language. Presence is relational, psychological, emotional, energetic, and it changes every room that you enter. Attention may get people to notice you, but presence is what makes people remember you. My last question: what's one thing distracting you from being fully present in your own life right now? And that is where your journey begins. I appreciate your time. And hey, check out the book and let me know what you think. Share, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and ask them to tell a friend. Till the next time. Peace.